Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be getting my Duramax frame all prepped up for P.O.R. It was getting to the point where it was pretty bad and it just needed taken care of. So you're going to see that. I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking, but introduction to the channel. I got to get the Duramax out of the way and then I can move on to some of the fun projects. One of them being, come check this out. One of them being, I know you've all seen that rendering. Well, I am in the process of designing that to be a real truck. So instead of coilovers, it's going to be on bags, but it's going to have cantilever suspension, triangulated 4-link, and the frame's gonna be about 4 to 5 inches off the ground, because if you look right here, they got about 4 to 5 inches of valance and everything. So I was gonna lay frame, but now it's gonna be 4 to 5 inches off the ground. Miata front suspension and a rotary out of an RX-8, so the Renesis. So yeah, once I get some of the less interesting projects out of the way, like the Duramax, I'm going to be getting started on that. I have a solid axle avalanche project coming up, a bagged 1961 Chevy truck. That one will be able to lay frame. I just want that super low, nice green. Then my son's 66 Chevy. I might be putting on a GMT 800 frame. I'm not sure yet. But quite a bit of stuff lined up. Hit the subscribe button down below. Like, comment. Honestly, comment what projects you're working on. That way, if I have something that might help you in my brain, I can make a video on it, or really just get to know what people are working on. I've been out of the car scene, well, not out of it, but I've been disconnected from it for a little while now. I'm starting to get the passion back for it. I have a new position at work, so I don't work on other people's cars no more, so that's helping a ton. I always want to start by taking everything off the frame. I've seen so many dealerships and just guys doing it on the side. Just leave all the brake lines sitting on the frame and the wiring and just slather the P.O.R. over it, and ultimately it looks like hell. It's bad on the wires. Sure, the brake lines could use it, but prep them and do it right. Now our wiring harness is completely loose off the frame and out. Oh, I might have lied. Nope, it's still loose. Got one more porcupine clip here on the back side. I just use, I don't know what you would call it, panel clip tool, whatever. It works really good to just pop them porcupine clips out. Most of the time without breaking them. Sometimes they're fragile and they break anyway. So, okay. Now you want to go through and make sure you can pull your harness to the side. That way it's not going to fall. Like if I just left that there, it's going to fall back onto the P.O.R. once we're done. So I'm going to want to make sure I can keep the harness away from the frame. Probably going to have to grab a zip tie and zip tie that up. Now you can use anything to tie your harness or your brake lines or whatever it is away from the frame. I'm using a zip tie. You can use belling wire, electrical tape. Really, you can use anything. It's not like there's only one thing to hold stuff away from something. Just want to make sure everything is off of the frame to the point where you can prep underneath it at least. So these brake lines, I need to redo them, but that is a job for a later date. So I'm just going to pull them up so I can get under there I have to remove these clips yet. I'll show you how to do them ones a little closer. These are the clips I'm talking about. I wasn't sure how they came off, so I risked breaking one to figure it out. You just get your pry tool up underneath there, and then you just lightly wiggle it out of there. Kind of like that. Then I'll be able to put that back and still have a good brake line holder. Gotta get these other clips out of the way. And then gently bend the brake line just slightly so it's out of the way. Now, rusted in body clips or body mounts are a little bit harder. You gotta beat them with a hammer. I don't think this cute little hammer is gonna do it. I might have to go get it. I don't know about on other trucks, but on the GMT 800s, they have these little plastic clips that go down in the body mounts to line up your bolt hole once you're going back in. It just keeps it tight and prevents it from slopping around. Don't lose those. I'm not sure if the new body mounts come with them or not, but you can see these ones are just hammered. So, gonna have to do new body mounts. But if you're reusing your old mounts, make sure you keep track of where each one went. That way, once you put the truck back together, it's not sitting different. So we're gonna set that one in the middle. I'm not reusing them, but I do have to set the truck back down on them for a while. So now I'm gonna get the other two mounts out of the way and then we'll start prepping. I'm gonna time lapse the whole entire prep of the frame just because it's gonna take probably 3 hours or so. I use this little wire wheel and this, it's called a crud buster, I think is actually what the Cornwall truck calls it. This works really good. It almost gives a sandblasted finish by the time it's done. You can use a normal wire wheel on a 4-inch grinder. If you got real crazy, you can even go through with a wire brush and just sit there for hours on end using a normal wire brush. So there's 100 ways to skin this cat. This is just the way I do it. So here's why I'm doing this. So this is like halfway prepped, just kind of cleaned up really. And then this is what the frame did look like. You can see here that the dealership I got it from, they just sprayed some shit on there to doll it up and make a sale.
Take me back to the riverside.
Artlist.io.
Counting days, passing time. Yeah, we were young and so alive.
Though we still got some wire wheeling to do. It's not done, but it's almost there. Wanted to take a break and kind of show you guys what it's looking like so far. The crud buster, you can kind of see how it's rougher here. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it'll leave a rougher finish than the normal wire wheel. Normal wire wheel will be more like that, glossy. Crud buster rough. Gonna go through, get the spots that I didn't want to destroy the crud buster getting. And then we're going to take a DA and some 80 grit, clean it up, degrease it, but stay tuned.
Now it feels like another life. So can you tell me a difference?
Music licensing.
Alright, now we got all the prep work done. I could have prepped a little better, but being the fact that I'm going to rhino line over it, I'm not worried about the little imperfections. If you're just leaving the P.O.R. or rust seal, whatever it is that you're using, you're going to want it smoother than I have it here. But just remember, it's not UV resistant. It's honestly a pretty weak paint. It's a decent base layer, but pretty weak paint. Here's what we got. All the little rust spots are okay. P.O.R. can go over rust. We're gonna do a Zep Purple degreasing treatment, just so we don't get no fish eyes. Just soak this on here. Soak it. And I should have prepped that cross member, but it's gonna be okay. So, okay, we're gonna let that sit for a little while and then come out, rinse it off, and dry it off. Now we let our degreaser sit on there for a minute. I did about 15 minutes, let it soak in, do its job. So now I'm gonna rinse the degreaser off, blow it off, get it all dry, and then I'll start putting the P.O.R. on.
Reimagined.
'Cause the one I got, you know it's getting old. We had all the time in the world now.
After you make sure you got your degreaser all the way off, you don't want none of that shit left. Go through and just blow off the frame, get it nice and dry, 100% dry.
Just need more, I just need more. We had all the
All right, now that your frame's dry, there's no water spots. You'll definitely find it if there are once you're painting. You're gonna get you a paintbrush. I like using a red Solo cup because it's not super wasteful. It's not a paint mixing cup, so it's not $3-4 a piece. It's like 25 cents a piece. And then you're gonna fill it up and brush it on. If you're gonna leave the P.O.R. as your final coating, you're gonna wanna get a high quality paintbrush because these cheap ones, they leave all these little hairs behind like that. Those will come out as I'm spreading this on. So you're gonna see those in here. But like I said before, I'm rhino lining over it, so it's not gonna be a huge deal.
time in the world now. I just need more, I just need more.
Artlist.io.
All right, so now that you've gone through and you've got your first coat on there, by the time you get to the end of how far you're going, so I went about probably 6-7 foot, and now everything's starting to tack up. Now you want to go through and you want to, I don't know if you can see it, you want to look for all the little runs or dribbles that you may have. It's going to be really prominent around any hole, bolt. I completely missed that one. But now's the time to go back through, smooth anything out that you want to, or get spots that you missed before your second coat. But the rule of thumb for this stuff is a little goes a long way, because it is a self-leveling type of paint. So all I used is that solid line in there. That's about all I used, and there's some left. It'll run like hell if you put it on thick, and you'll have little dribbles everywhere. It just won't be nice. So now's your time. Go back through, level anything out, get any missed spots, put your second coat on, and it should dry just about as shiny as that. All right, now that you got your second coat all laid out, and you've gone through, you've checked for runs, you've smoothed them out if there is any runs, you're gonna let this cure for 24 hours-ish. Couple things on your second coat, you can go quite a bit thicker. You just gotta watch for runs a little closer. So I used probably, I'd say probably a ½ inch more in the Solo cup of paint on my second layer than I did on the first. If you're just doing the P.O.R. and calling it done, then you're done. Wait for it to dry, set your cap back on, and you're good to go. If you're rhino lining or doing any kind of other coating after this cures, so after it cures, you're gonna wanna grab some red Scotch-Brite and just knock off the shine. You don't want it to be shiny at all. And you wanna go through and you wanna do that for every single square inch that you've P.O.R'd or that you plan on coating. So I'm gonna coat the whole frame on here in Rhinoline. I did this side 2 weeks ago, so it's plenty cured. I already have it prepped. I'll have to clean it up before I spray the Rhinoline. But you can see what I mean by no shine at all. It almost looks like old shitty spray paint compared to, once your P.O.R. dries, it'll look similar to this over here compared to nice and dark and shiny. So it'll dry, shiny, and if that's all you're doing, you're done. But if you're doing more, you want to knock it down. That spot that I told you, it'll be fine that I didn't prep. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you can definitely tell the difference between not prepped and prepped material. I actually prepped the other half of it, so you can kind of see the split right there, where it's all nice, shiny, smooth, and then rough as hell. So there you have it. That's how you should prep your frame, or really anything you're planning on P.O.R.ing. It's kind of a rough explanation of how to spread it out. You just brush it on, it's not hard. I'm only doing the top side and the sides right now because I got to get the cab set back on so I can get this truck running again, so I can move on to other projects and other things I have planned in the future. I will be doing the whole frame at some point, but the rest of it I can get to while the cab's on and the truck's running. This is the bottom of the cab. I've Rhino-lined it. You can see that it's already starting to fail around the cab mounts. I'll have to redo that. Missed some spots, but overall that's the bottom of the cab. I've sprayed inside the braces with some rust preventative spray paint. I know it's rust colored, but it's not rust. You can see it dripping out of there too. So the bottom of the cab's gonna be all nice and Rhino-lined and pretty. Frame's gonna be pretty, all the way up the firewall. Really trying to make this truck last forever so my son can give it to his son. Thanks for checking out the video. Thanks for checking out the Duramax. Hopefully you stay around for the rest of the projects I have. We'll see you next time.
Take me down the desert roads. We crashed the car, getting stoned. Life is still all a mystery.
Music
Now it's
licensing
on to
reimagined.
me. So can I feel again everything back then? 'Cause I'm so tired of getting old. We had all the time in the world, now I just need more. I just need more. We had all the time.